Okay, let's quickly jump on to Splunk AI Assistant for SPL. So the UI was actually something different earlier, but now it looks like this. Okay. So where you get it, you can go to apps, manage apps. You can install this app from Splunk base. So basically, when you are actually a free customer, you will not be able to see this kind of view because how Splunk is providing the license to use this is they are not charging extra for this Splunk AI Assistant at the moment. Maybe in the future they might charge for this AI Assistant also, but at the moment it is free. And at the same time, it's not for everybody. Like if you are installing this Splunk Enterprise on your local host, it is not going to work. You need to request them for a specific access token. Okay. So you need a token if you want to use it on the local host or somewhere else. If it is Splunk Cloud or if you are a paid customer, which means let's say your client is actually paying the money to the Splunk for buying the license. So in those kind of cases, you will get this license very quickly. I'm not sure if it works on the local host, if they provide any key or not. Okay, so once you have this licensed Splunk AI Assistant, this is how it looks. Otherwise, it throws an error. Fine. Let's quickly jump. So we can chart as in we do in the chat GPT or Gemini. Let's see what is under the settings before we go ahead and discuss. So we have general and context. So a lot of stuff like if you want to send the diagnostics and all those kind of stuff to the LLM or not. So this is what you can give as the instructions. Everything is available here. Okay. So if you want to share this data or not, all these kind of checkboxes are available. You can just explore that part if you want. Let's go to new chat. This is a brand new chat. So what we see is how can I help you today? So there are a lot of details. It is helping us. What are the things that you can do with Splunk AI Assistant? So let's talk little with few examples here. Firstly, AI Assistant will help us in writing the SPL, or if we pair some complex query, it can explain that query for each line, what is it going to do. And we can also ask if about any of the commands or functions within the Splunk, so it can answer us. Okay, so that is the very overview. Let's talk with examples. So if I go here, so let's take a scenario of this. What is this actually? Let me zoom in. So I'm asking, analyze Splunk platform health for last 7 days using internal logs, identify indexing bottlenecks, and some scenario I'm giving it. So in last 7 days, I want to understand the health. So I'm giving this internal index because I don't want to use any production data at the moment here. Okay. So let's hit enter. Let's see how it responds. And what else am I giving? Rank the top 10 issues. Okay, let's wait for the response. And at the moment, Splunk is not having its own LLM at the moment. In the backend, I think it is using Chat GPT at the moment. I'm not 100% sure what is it using. Uh, or Claude. Okay, let's not worry much about it at the moment. Okay, let's go to our chat quickly. What we have asked is analyze last 7 days data. So I have actually brought the complex examples for Splunk to do. That is why it is taking time. You see what it is clearly giving a step-by-step process of what is it actually doing. So at this step, it has ran retrieve documentation. So if you expand, you can see, okay, I think approve tool execution. It is asking some permission for us to execute this query. Okay, I'm just going to ask always execute for this session. Fine. So this is the input JSON. This is the output JSON. So it is itself running those things, getting the details and moving on to the next steps. Now, step by step. For all those three first steps are retrieving the documentation. The next step is run this Splunk syntax check. Whatever the query it tried to load, is it fine or not? So it is doing the checks itself. So let's jump to the end results. What do we have? So at this step, you see ran Splunk search. It has actually ran the Splunk search, and this is the search what it has used. Okay, and this is the output it has got. Let's minimize this. So I have got results, which is great. I need to include an events, blah, 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 blah. So many details. Let's wait for some time. This is actually, you see so many pipes here. It is actually a markdown text. Once it is loaded, you will see it in a tabular format. Let's wait for it to complete. So in the meantime, we have only rename or delete options for these charts. Okay. Right. Now it looks great actually, very colorful. Now you see everything whatever loaded was actually collapsed here. Okay. So now you see what is the SPL it has used to give you the results. You see there is a very big SPL because we made this scenario very complex. It's a very big query it has ran and it is giving us the top 10. If you look at it, indicator shared, search shared details it has given, impact score, evidence. So it has analyzed all the internal logs and it has given. So these are the outliers. And what is this means to us? What are the health findings? What are the remediation recommendations? Everything. And when you click on this related content, it will give you whatever the commands it has actually used in the query, this query. So you see all the commands it has used. If you want, you can simply click on it. So it will take you to the Splunk documentation page for that specific command. Okay. So when you ask something, it has actually done so much of research, its own Splunk documentation. So how much can you rely on a chat GPT or Gemini when you are asking for a specific commands or functions? At the beginning time of when I was talking to chat GPT, there were few commands it has confidently given, even though they were not actually the Splunk commands. Because what happens is ChatGPT and Gemini blindly relies on everything that is available in the internet, which means Splunk documentation is also available, a lot of community answers. Maybe there could be wrong answers available, somebody has posted wrong commands. So it absorbs everything whatever is available and gives us the answer. But what is the difference with Splunk AI Assistant is it is dedicatedly loaded with only the Splunk documentation stuff, not these community answers and all those things. It has consumed each and every point of Splunk documentation. So whatever you get in the Splunk AI Assistant is more precise and correct compared to other, ChatGPT or any other things. Okay. So this is how you get You got all these details. And now let's talk about the second scenario where I'm asking to find out some detect misconfigured saved searches. So I'm asking just review the internal logs and get me the searches or reports or alerts. So let's see how is it going to respond. Now it is constructing a query. So if you go to the previous response, you can simply copy the whole SPL just using this icon, or if you want to open, you can click on this open in search option. So it will take you to the next tab and open the search. It's not loading. It's just taking so much of time. So now you can see the query is loaded in a new tab. Okay. All right. Let's see if we have got the answer for the second one. So this is the scenario we have given. We have asked to review last 14 days of data and asked about saved searches failing and some detailed analysis of last 14 hours saved searches. Right. Let it load. In the meantime, let's look at the next scenario where I'm asking actually to explain a query, and also I'm asking if there is anything wrong, please provide the correct query along with the optimized query. Right? Let's say if you are using a 30 lines of query, you are working in a production environment and you have no idea what that query is doing because somebody else who was working before you developed that query. Okay, there is 40 lines of query. You think that maybe there is something, uh, some of the lines are not needed, but you are not 100% confident. What happens if I remove that query? So in these cases, what you can do is you can, simply copy paste that query, ask that assistant to review or optimize or remove the unnecessary part. So it can easily do that. So let's see, you see all this, whatever the saved searches that have come, and there are few things which are actually skipped. You got the recommendations, you got the notes. Okay, it's pretty straightforward to understand, so I don't have anything to explain here. So I'm just giving you some examples how you can utilize this. Fine. So I am giving the query here, asking for optimized and correct version if there is anything wrong in the query. Okay. Let's wait for the response. I think I have intentionally made something mistake here, just to cross check if it isn't is properly checking or not. Let's wait for the response to load. Okay. If you want in between, you can also click on the stop. Okay. So in the meantime, if it loads, let's click on view AI details. What what does it show to us? And as I mentioned at the moment, Splunk is not having its own LLM. It is still using ChatGPT or Claude in the backend. Okay. It's not mentioned here. Somewhere I have seen it, but that's fine. Let's not focus much on it. So it has given us the optimized query here from whatever we have given. And logical issues, whatever it has found, field inconsistencies, correctness concerns, blah, 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 blah. So it is also explaining what is actually happening in the query. Okay, that's cool, right? So an answer which you can relay. because it has feed it with so much of Splunk documentation, Splunk, all the versions of Splunk. That is the key point here, right? Because let's say if you are using 9 version and there are some different settings in the dashboard, so you can specify, hey, assistant, I am using this particular version of Splunk and there is this particular error in the dashboard. So how can you fix? So according to that documentation of Splunk, it will fix the issue. So you don't have to worry that maybe this is the answer I'm getting is from the latest. Okay. So let me also give it a try asking to write regular expressions. I'm sure most of you are familiar with writing the regular expressions and all. I have just given some phone number just with some hyphen underscore and all. So let's see if it gives the regular expression. It has given very quickly compared to writing the SPL. It has also given us the options to extract. How can we extract that phone number in the SPL? That's really great. Option A, option B, and normalize to a single format. This is an optional answer. So you can simply use this SPL whatever you have got. All right. So that is with AI assistant. I also have something else here. So that is for I think different purpose. Fine. Let's conclude this AI assistant. What are all the things that you can do with AI assistant? You can write the SPL. What let it be any level of complexity can still write the SPL for you. It can explain the SPL for you. It can optimize the SPL, or if there are any errors, it can still do that. And if you want to ask any queries about dashboards, reports, or alerts, it can still do that. Let's ask something like an admin. When from which version of Splunk Enterprise cluster master configuration change from master apps to manager apps? Okay, so from some particular version of Splunk Enterprise, instead of using master apps, they are actually introduced manager apps. Okay, which is actually used in cluster master to push the apps to indexer cluster members. Let's see what we get the response from Splunk AI Assistant. The first step it is doing is retrieve documentation, because it has it has fed with so much of Splunk documentation, and of course it does not rely on any community answers and all those things. It 100% relies on its own documentation. Splunk Enterprise 9.0 is when the cluster manager configuration bundle repository changed from this to this. Okay, you can clearly see a few steps to make us understand what is happening. You cannot use both manager apps and master apps. So that's cool documentation, and it is also giving you a direct link where you can check this configuration changes. Okay,